Thanksgiving dinner at the Morrison house was supposed to be about gratitude. Instead, it turned into the day I stopped being invisible. I sat at the far end of the table, the spot I'd occupied for 32 years. Not the head, not the middle where conversation flowed, is the end, where the Brussels sprouts went cold first, and the wine bottle never quite reached. My mother, Patricia Morrison, presided from the head of the table in her cream cashmere sweater and pearl necklace. At 63, she looked like she'd stepped out of a Ralph Lauren catalog. My father had died 7 years ago, leaving her the house, his life insurance, and a comfortable retirement. To her right sat my sister Lauren, 35, with her husband Brad and their 2 children, Aiden and Olivia. Lauren wore a designer, everything, and had the kind of highlights that cost $400 every 6 weeks. Brad worked in finance and wore his success like a second skin. 2 moms left sat my brother Derek, 38, recently divorced, temporarily living in mom's guest house while he figured things out. He'd been figuring it out for 18 months. And then there was me, Emma Morrison, 32, single, working as a data analyst for a mid-sized tech company. Emma, could you pass the rolls? Mom, ask it. Ask it. Primera? Pa. Said them. They went to Lauren, who took 2, then 2, Brad, who took 3. By the time the basket circled back to me, there was 1 small roll left. Story of my life. So, Lauren said, cutting into her turkey with surgical precision, Brad and I are thinking about buying a vacation home in the Hamptons. Just a small place, maybe 3,000 square feet. Somewhere the kids can spend summers. That sounds lovely, Mom said. You two work so hard, you deserve it. We've been looking at properties around $2.8 million, Brad added. The market's competitive, but we're pre-approved for $3 million if we find the right place. $3 million. Derek whispered. Must be nice. It's about priorities, Lauren said, her tone suggesting Derek's priorities were questionable. We save, we invest, we plan for the future. Right, Brad? Absolutely. Delayed gratification. Brad smiled at me. You should try it, Emma. Actually build some wealth instead of just paying rent somewhere. I don't pay rent, I said quietly. Well, whatever you pay Mom for staying here, same thing. I took a sip of water. Didn't respond. The truth was, I didn't pay Mom rent. I paid her mortgage. But nobody at this table knew that, except Mom. And she'd made it very clear 5 years ago that it was our secret. Emma's lucky Mom lets her stay here, Lauren continued. At 32, most people are independent. Have their own place, their own life. I have a life, I said. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, you're still living in your childhood bedroom, eating dinner at your mother's table, never going anywhere or doing anything. Lauren, Mom said mildly, that's enough. But Lauren was on a roll. She'd had 3 glasses of wine and the kind of confidence that comes from never having been told no. I'm just saying, at some point, you have to grow up. Take responsibility. Stop relying on other people. I'm not relying on anyone. You're living here and Lauren. Mom's voice was sharper now. I said, that's enough. Lauren sat back, wounded. I'm just being honest. Someone needs to tell Emma the truth. Derek, who'd been quiet until now, decided to contribute. Lauren has a point. You've been here since... What? Since Dad died? Yes. 7 years. That's a long time to not have your own place. I like it here. That's not the point. The point is independence. Self-sufficiency. He gestured around the table. Lauren and Brad have their own house. A beautiful house. I'm only here temporarily while I sort out the divorce. But you're just... Here. I'm here because Mom needed help, I said quietly. What help? Derek looked genuinely confused. Mom's fine. She's got the house, Dad's life insurance, her pension. She doesn't need help. I looked at Mom. She was studying her plate with great concentration. Mom, I said, do you want to tell them, or should I? Emma. Her voice carried a warning. Not now. Not now. When they're done telling me I'm a freeloader, when they're finished explaining how I need to grow up, Emma, please. But something in me had broken. 7 years of holding my tongue. 7 years of being the invisible daughter, the disappointing sister, the family failure. 7 years of being told I didn't contribute, didn't matter, didn't measure up. 7 years of paying $2,847 every single month. I think they should know, I said. Lauren looked between us. Know what? I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and turned the screen toward her. Know that I've been paying Mom's mortgage for 5 years. The room went completely silent. Even the kids stopped fidgeting. What? Derek said, finally. The mortgage on this house. The one you're all sitting in. The one Mom supposedly owns free and clear thanks to Dad's life insurance. I scrolled through my transaction history. I've been paying it since November 2019. $2,847 per month. Every month. For 61 months. Lauren grabbed my phone, squinting at the screen. This has to be fake. It's not fake. Check the recipient. Morrison Home Trust. That's Mom's mortgage account. Brad leaned over to look. His expression shifted from skeptical to confused. Wait, Patricia, I thought you paid off the house years ago. You told us the life insurance covered it. Mom set down her fork carefully. The life insurance covered the funeral expenses and some debts, not the mortgage. But I said I was managing fine, which I am. Emma helps with the house expenses. House expenses. Derek's voice rose. You're paying the entire mortgage. Yes. How much is that total? I did the math in my head, with the 5 years of payments, $173,667. The number hung in the air like smoke. Lauren shoved my phone back at me. That's impossible. You don't make enough money to pay someone else's mortgage and support yourself. I don't support myself. I live here. No rent, no utilities, no groceries. I take my entire paycheck and I pay Mom's mortgage, and whatever's left over goes to student loans and my car payment. Why would you do that? Derek asked. Because Mom asked me to. Everyone turned to look at Mom. She dabbed her mouth with her napkin, taking her time. After your father died, I was in a difficult financial position. The life insurance wasn't as much as we'd expected. There were deaths I didn't know about, medical bills from his cancer treatment that insurance didn't cover. I was facing foreclosure. Foreclosure? Lauren's voice was shrill. You never told us that. I didn't want to worry you. You had your own family, your own mortgage. Derek was going through his divorce. I didn't want to burden anyone. So, you burdened Emma instead. Emma offered to help. Did I? I said quietly. Mom's eyes snapped to mine. Emma, did I offer? Mom? Or did you tell me the bank was going to take the house and you'd end up on the street and it would be my fault because I was the only one living here who could help? That's not how That's exactly how you phrased it. November 2019. You sat me down in the kitchen and you cried, and you said you didn't know what you were going to do. You said you couldn't ask Lauren or Derek because they had their own families to take care of. But I was single, I had a good job, and I lived here anyway, so it only made sense. You could have said no, Mom said. Cooled. Booth. You made it very clear what would happen if I said no. You'd lose the house. You'd have to move into some tiny apartment. You'd be humiliated in front of your friends, and it would all be because your youngest daughter refused to help. I never said that. You didn't have to. The implication was enough. Brad was looking at Mom like he'd never seen her before. Patricia, why didn't you come to us? We could have helped, could have given you a loan, helped you refinance. I didn't want charity. But you wanted Emma to pay your mortgage. Emma lives here. She benefits from having a place to live. I could rent a decent apartment for $1,800 a month, I said. Less than I'm paying you. And I'd have my own space, my own life, my own independence. All the things everyone at this table says I should have. Lauren was staring at her plate. I didn't know. Of course, you didn't know. Because I'm not supposed to tell anyone. Right, Mom? That was the deal. I pay the mortgage, but I don't tell Lauren or Derek or anyone else, because it's private family business. Why would she want to keep it secret? Derek asked. I looked at Mom. She looked away. Because, I said slowly, realizing the truth as I spoke it, if you and Lauren knew I was paying the mortgage, you might wonder why you weren't contributing to. You might feel obligated to help. And then Mom would have to admit she needs help, which would ruin the image of the strong, independent widow who's doing just fine. That's not true, Mom said, but her voice lacked conviction. Isn't it? You tell everyone you're comfortable, that Dad's life insurance was generous, that you're living off your pension and managing perfectly well. Meanwhile, I'm paying your mortgage and eating whatever leftovers are in the fridge because I can barely afford groceries. You never said you needed money for food, Mom protested. I shouldn't have to. I'm paying $2,847 a month. That should come with more than whatever Brussels sprouts make it to the end of the table. The kids were definitely listening now. Aiden, who is 9, spoke up. Grandma, is Aunt Emma paying for your house? It's complicated, sweetheart, Mom said. It's not complicated, I said. I pay Grandma's mortgage. Every month. For 5 years, that's $173,667. Almost enough to buy my own house. Brad pulled out his phone and started calculating. Actually, with that kind of down payment, you could buy a house worth around $700,000 in a decent market. Maybe more if you're willing to go outside the city. Brad, Lauren hissed, not helping. I'm just saying, if Emma's been paying that much, she couldn't have bought anything because she's been supporting this family. Lauren was angry now, but I couldn't tell if she was angry at me or at Mom. How could you let her do this? She's your daughter. Could you? You're my daughter too. Mom shot back. Should I have asked you to pay the mortgage instead? You should have told us the truth. We could have all helped, split the cost 3 ways. That would have been $900 each. We could have managed that. Could you have managed $900 a month on top of your own $6,000 mortgage payment? Your kids' private school tuition, your car payments, your vacation home shopping. Lauren's face flushed. That's different. How is it different? Because we worked for our lifestyle, we made good choices, good investments, and I didn't. I interrupted. I made the choice to help our mother, to keep her from losing the house where we grew up. That wasn't a good choice. It was your choice, Derek said. You could have said no. When have I ever been allowed to say no in this family? The question hung in the air. Nobody answered. I stood up. I need some air. Emma, sit down, Mom commanded. We're not finished with dinner. I'm finished. Emma Morrison, sit down right now. I looked at her. Really looked at her, at the woman who'd raised me, who'd taught me about family and sacrifice and putting others first. To woman, would you been taking $2,847 from my bank account every month for 5 years without once asking if I was okay, if I needed anything, if the sacrifice was too much. No, I said. I walked out of the dining room, through the foyer, and out the front door into the cold November evening. Behind me, I heard chaos. Voices raised, accusations flying, the careful facade of the perfect Morrison family cracking apart. I sat on the front steps and called my best friend Julia. Hey, how's Thanksgiving? Can I stay with you for a few days? There was a pause. What happened? I'll tell you when I get there. Can I come? Of course. Always. I packed a bag while the family argued downstairs. I could hear Mom's voice, defensive and sharp. Lauren's voice, hurt and angry. Derek's voice, confused and ineffectual, as always. I threw clothes into my duffel bag, grabbed my laptop and work documents, and looked around my childhood bedroom one last time. The same bedroom I'd had since I was 5, pale, purple walls that I'd begged to repaint in high school, but never did. A twin bed I'd long since outgrown, shelves full of books from college, trophies from soccer and debate team, photos of friends who'd all moved on with their lives. This room was a time capsule, a monument to the girl I'd been before Dad got sick, before Mom needed help. Before I'd learned that family meant sacrifice, and sacrifice meant me giving up everything. I left the room and walked downstairs. The family had moved to the living room. They all turned when they heard me. "Where are you going?" Mom asked. Mom asked. "Julia's. You can't just leave in the middle of Thanksgiving." "I can. Primera vez." "Emma, we need to discuss this. As a family, we're not a family, Mom. We're for people who share DNA and a last name." A family would have noticed one person carrying everyone else's weight for 5 years. "That's not fair," Derek said. "Fair. You want to talk about fair? You've been living in Mom's guest house for 18 months, Ren. Lauren comes over every Sunday for dinner and takes home leftovers without contributing a dime. Nobody asks what I need, what I want, whether I'm struggling. You just take and assume I'm fine because I'm quiet about it." "We didn't know," Lauren said. "You should have said something. I shouldn't have to beg my own family to see me." I turned to Mom, canceling the mortgage payment. Her face went white. "You can't do that." "I can, and I am. I'm done sacrificing my entire life so you can maintain appearances. Emma, if you stop paying, I'll lose the house. Then maybe it's time to sell the house. Or refinance. Or ask Derek and Lauren to contribute. Or get a roommate. There are options, Mom. You just never explored them because you had me." "Where will I go?" "I don't know." Where was I supposed to go if I'd ever said no? "You didn't worry about that." Brad stood up. "Patricia, Lauren and I can help with the mortgage. We should have been helping all along. We can split it 3 ways, Derek added reluctantly. "That's what, like $900 each?" "I can manage that." Mom shook her head. "I don't want charity from my children. But you'll take $2,847 a month from one child and call it helping." I asked, "How is this different?" "Because you live here. I'm not going to anymore." That stopped her. "What?" "I'm moving out. I'll pay this month's mortgage, give you 30 days to figure out another arrangement. But after that, I'm done." "Where will you go?" "I'll figure it out. Just like you're going to figure out how to pay your own bills." "Emma, you're being selfish." The word hit like a slap. Selfish. After 5 years, after $173,667, after sacrificing my entire 20s and early 30s so she could keep up appearances. "Good," I said. "It's about time." I walked out the front door for the second time that night. This time, I didn't look back. Julia lived in a small 2-bedroom apartment in the city. She was a teacher, 33, single, and the kind of friend who asked questions that actually required answers. "So," she said, handing me a glass of wine at midnight after I'd told her everything, "you've been paying your mom's mortgage for 5 years. "Yes, almost $3,000 a month." "Yes. And nobody knew, except you and your mom." "Correct, Em. That's financial abuse." I blinked. "What?" "Your mom was financially abusing you. She manipulated you into paying her bills by threatening homelessness and guilting you about family obligation. Then she made you keep it secret so other family members wouldn't question it or offer to help. That's textbook financial exploitation. She's my mom. That doesn't make it okay. Parents aren't supposed to exploit their kids." Julia sat down beside me. "How much do you have in savings?" "About $1,200. "After 5 years of working, Em, you should have at least $50,000 saved by now." "More, probably." "Where did all your money go?" "To Mom." "Exactly. She took 5 years of your financial security, 5 years of building wealth, investing, preparing for your own future. She took all of that." I started crying. Not pretty crying, ugly, gasping sobs that came from somewhere deep and broken. Julia held me while I fell apart. "I thought I was helping," I said between sobs. "I thought I was being a good daughter." Where? But she wasn't being a good mother. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and 43 text messages. Mom, Emma, we need to talk. Come home. Mom, you're being irrational. Mom, I raised you better than this. Lauren, can we talk? I'm sorry for what I said. Lauren, I didn't know. I really didn't. Derek, Mom's really upset. Can you call her? Derek, we're going to work out a payment plan. You don't have to keep paying. Brad, I looked at the mortgage terms. Your mom's been paying 6.8% interest. She could refinance at 4% and save $600 a month. I can help with that. And one from an unknown number. This is Patricia. You've made your point. Come home and we'll discuss this like adults. I blocked the unknown number. Mom had gotten a new phone to text me after I'd stopped responding to her regular number. I called my bank instead. Hi, I need to cancel an automatic monthly payment. Sure, I can help with that. What's the payment for? Morrison Home Trust. It's a mortgage payment. Okay, and you want to cancel all future payments? Primera. Esítate. 5 years of conditioning told me to keep paying, to keep helping, to keep sacrificing. But Julia's words echoed in my head. She took 5 years of your financial security. Yes, I said firmly. Cancel all future payments effective immediately. Done. Is there anything else I can help you with today? Actually, yes. I want to open a savings account, a high-yield savings account. And I want to set up automatic transfers from my checking account, $2,847 per month. The banker paused. Se. Quite specific. It's the amount I'm no longer paying to someone else. I want to pay myself instead. That's actually a great idea. Let me set that up for you. By the time I hung up, I had a new savings account that would grow by $2,847 every month. In 1 year, I'd have $34,164. In 2 years, $68,328. In 5 years, I'd have $170,820. Almost exactly what I'd given Mom. Except this time, it would be mine. I stayed at Julia's for a week. During that time, I looked at apartments, 1-bedroom places in decent neighborhoods, close to public transit, with actual closet space and kitchens that fit more than one person. They ranged from $1,800 to $2,200 per month. All of them less than I'd been paying Mom. I found a place on the 3rd day, a small 1-bedroom on the 2nd floor of a converted brownstone. Hardwood floors, lots of light, a kitchen, with a dishwasher. Rent, $1,950 per month. I'll take it, I told the landlord. Don't you want to think about it? I've been thinking about it for 5 years. I'll take it. I signed the lease that afternoon. Move-in date, December 15th. 3 weeks away. When I called Mom to tell her, she didn't answer. I left a voicemail. Mom, it's Emma. I've rented an apartment. I'll be moving out December 15th. I've canceled the automatic mortgage payment effective December 1st, but I've scheduled one final payment for this month as my 30-day notice. After that, you'll need to make other arrangements. Derek and Lauren both offered to help. I suggest you take them up on it. I hung up before my courage failed. 10 minutes later, Lauren called. Emma, please don't do this. Do what? Move out. I'm 32. Lauren, you told me yourself I need independence. That's not what I meant, and you know it. Then what did you mean? She was quiet for a moment. I didn't know about the mortgage. I swear, I had no idea. I believe you. If I'd known, you would have what? Offered to help. Insisted on contributing. Maybe. I don't know. But I wouldn't have said all those things at dinner. About you not contributing. About you being dependent. Those things were true from your perspective. You didn't know I was paying the mortgage, so I looked like a freeloader. But you're not. You're the only one who was actually helping. I was being exploited. Lauren, there's a difference. Mom didn't mean to Jess. She did. She knew exactly what she was doing. She made me keep it secret because she knew you and Derek would question it. She isolated me financially and emotionally, took almost $3,000 a month from me, and never once asked if I was okay. Lauren started crying. I'm so sorry. I know. Can I help? With the apartment, with moving, with anything. I don't need help. I need space. For how long? I don't know. Derek called next. It's Derek. Look, I know things are weird right now, but I just wanted you to know that Brad's helping Mom refinance. We're going to split the mortgage 3 ways, me, Lauren, and Brad. $900 each. Mom will cover utilities and property tax. That's good. And I'm moving out of the guest house. Found an apartment closer to work. Figured I should stop being temporary and actually figure my shit out. Good for you. I'm sorry I didn't know what you were going through. You weren't supposed to know. That was the point. Still, I should have paid more attention. Should have noticed you never went anywhere, never bought anything new, never seemed to have money for anything. You noticed. You just thought I was bad with money. He laughed, but it sounded pained. Yeah, I did. Turns out, you were the only one being responsible. The rest of us were just living our lives while you held everything together. I'm done holding things together for other people. I get that. I really do. But we're still family. Even if we're a pretty fucked up family. I know. So, when you're ready, maybe we could grab coffee or something. Just you and me. No Mom, no Lauren, no family drama, just siblings. Maybe. In a few months I'll wait. Mom didn't call. Not for 2 weeks. I moved into my apartment on December 15th. Julia helped me move my few possessions, mostly clothes, books, and my laptop. I didn't own much. 5 years of sending every spare dollar to Mom's mortgage had left me with very little, but the apartment was mine. My name on the lease. My space to decorate. My kitchen where I could keep the fridge stocked with whatever I wanted. Freedom tasted like grocery shopping without checking my bank balance first. I bought fresh vegetables, good coffee, bread from the bakery, instead of the day-old discount rack. I spent $120 on groceries and didn't feel guilty about it. That night, I sat on my second-hand couch in my empty living room and cried, not sad tears this time. Relief. For the first time in 5 years, I'd paid myself first. Christmas came and went. Lauren invited me to their house for dinner. I declined. Derek invited me to brunch. I declined. Mom sent a card with no return address. Inside was a check for $500 and a note. For your new apartment, Mom. I tore up the check. Julia hosted a small dinner at her place. Just the two of us. Her sister, and a few other friends. We drank too much wine, played board games, and I laughed more than I had in years. You look different, Julia's sister commented. Lighter, somehow. I feel lighter, I said. Turns out, not carrying your entire family's financial burden makes you buoyant. We toasted to that. In January, I got a promotion at work, data analyst to senior data analysts. Salary increase. $12,000 per year. Your work has been exceptional, my manager said during the review. You've consistently exceeded expectations. I'm pleased to offer you this promotion. Thank you. I notice you seem more engaged lately. More focused. Is everything okay? Everything's great, actually. I made some changes in my personal life. It's helped. Well, keep it up. You're a valuable part of this team. I walked out of the meeting with a smile on my face. The girl who'd sat at the end of the Thanksgiving table, invisible and undervalued, wouldn't have gotten this promotion. She'd been too tired, too drained, too busy surviving to actually thrive. But the woman I was becoming, she was thriving. February brought an unexpected visitor. I was making dinner in my small kitchen when someone knocked on my door. Mom. She stood in the hallway looking smaller than I remembered. She wasn't wearing her usual pearls and cashmere, just jeans and a sweater. Her hair looked grayer. Can I come in? Ask it. I should have said, No. Should have closed the door and locked out 5 years of manipulation and pain. Instead, I said, 5 minutes. She came inside and looked around the apartment. It's nice. Small, but nice. It's mine. Yes. She sat down on the couch without being invited. Emma, I owe you an apology. I stayed standing, arms crossed. Go on. I took advantage of you. I knew what I was doing, and I did it anyway because it was easier than admitting I needed help from all my children. Easier than admitting I'd failed. Failed at what? At being the widow who had it all together. Your father died and everyone expected me to fall apart. I was determined not to. I wanted to prove I could manage on my own, that I didn't need anyone. But the truth was, I was drowning. The medical bills, the debt, the mortgage, it was too much. And instead of asking for help properly, I manipulated you into carrying it all for me. Why me? Because you were there. Because you were quiet and compliant and I knew you wouldn't make a scene. Because you loved me and I exploited that love. She looked down at her hands. I'm ashamed, Emma. Deeply ashamed. You should be. I know. And I'm sorry. I know. Sorry doesn't give you back those 5 years. Doesn't give you back the $173,667 you paid. But I am sorry. We sat in silence for a moment. Are you expecting me to forgive you? I asked. No. I'm just hoping someday you might. I don't know if I can. I understand. You hurt me. Mom, you made me feel invisible and worthless, and like the only value I had was what I could give you financially. You let Lauren and Derek think I was a freeloader while I was literally keeping you from foreclosure. You took everything from me and then acted like I was the one being selfish? I know. Do you? Because knowing and understanding are different things. You know you hurt me. But do you understand why it was wrong? Do you understand that what you did was abuse? She flinched at the word. Yes. I've been seeing a therapist. She helped me understand what I did. Financial coercion, emotional manipulation, exploitation of family bonds. She didn't use gentle language. Good. Derek and Lauren are helping with the mortgage now. Brad helped me refinance. My payment is down to $1,800 per month. Split 3 ways. I'm managing. I'm glad. I'm glad. And I sold the vacation property in Vermont, the one your father and I bought 30 years ago. It was worth $400,000. After taxes and fees, I netted about $320,000. I didn't say anything. Mom pulled an envelope from her purse and set it on the coffee table. This is for you. I didn't touch it. It's a check for $173,667. Every dollar you paid me, plus interest. It's from the sale of the Vermont property. I'm using the rest to pay off the mortgage completely and to set up college funds for Aiden and Olivia. But your money comes first. I stared at the envelope. Why? Because it was never mine to keep. Because you earned it. Because you deserve to have your security back. This doesn't fix what you did. I know, but it's a start. And Emma, I'm selling the house. That surprised me. What? I'm selling the Connecticut house? It's too big for me alone. Too many memories. Too much house to maintain. I'm moving to a condo in town. 2 bedrooms, low maintenance, affordable. I'll be able to live comfortably on my pension without needing anyone's help. That single quotes S. Good. I should have done it years ago. But I was stubborn and proud and I thought keeping the house meant I had lost everything when your father died. Turns out I lost more by keeping it than I ever would have by letting it go. She stood up. I won't take more of your time. I just wanted to say I'm sorry and to give you back what's yours. If you ever want to talk, want to try to rebuild our relationship, I'm here. But I understand if you're not ready. Or if you're never ready. She walked to the door. Hand on the handle, she turned back. For what it's worth, Emma, you're the strongest of all my children. You gave everything for this family, and you're the only one who had the courage to stop Primera. Admire that. I admire you. Thin, Selef. I stood in my living room for a long time, staring at the envelope on my coffee table. Finally, I opened it. The check was real. $173,667. Made out to Emma Morrison. In the memo line, what I owed you. I sat down and cried for the third time since Thanksgiving. But, this time, they were different tears. Not anger. Not relief. Not sadness. Just, release. I deposited the check. The next day, my bank account went from $3,400 to $177,067 overnight. The banker who helped me was the same one who'd set up my automatic savings. Quite a deposit, she commented. Repayment of a loan, I said. Lucky you. Yes, I said. Lucky me. I invested most of it. Conservative index funds, a mix of stocks and bonds, a small amount in a high-yield savings account for emergencies. By the time I finished meeting with the financial advisor, I had a real portfolio. Real wealth. Real security. For the first time in my adult life, I had options. Spring came slowly, then, all at once. The trees outside my apartment bloomed. I started running in the mornings, something I'd never had energy for when I was paying Mom's mortgage. I joined a book club. Went on dates. Bought furniture that wasn't second-hand. I lived in April. Lauren called. Mom sold the house. I know. It sold for $1.2 million. She's already bought the condo. Moving in next month? Good for her. She asked about you. Wanted to know if you'd come to the housewarming. No, Emma, I'm not ready. Lauren? When will you be ready? I don't know. Maybe never. Maybe someday. But not now. Okay. I understand. She paused. Derek and I were thinking about taking you out for your birthday. Just the three of us, siblings only. Would you be interested? My birthday was in May. 33rd birthday. The first one I'd celebrate in my own apartment, with my own money, with my own choices. Maybe, I said. Let me think about it. That's more than a no. I'll take it. 2 weeks before my birthday, I did something impulsive. I booked a trip to Iceland. 1 week, solo travel, hiking, and hot springs and northern lights. Cost $3,200. I could afford it easily. The realization made me giddy. I could afford things now. Not just rent and groceries and student loans, but trips and experiences and joy. I posted a photo of my plane ticket on social media. Julia commented, "Proud of you." Derek commented, "Have an amazing time. You deserve it." Lauren commented, "This is so exciting. Take lots of pictures." Mom didn't comment, but she did send a text. "Have a wonderful trip, sweetheart. Be safe." I didn't respond, but I didn't delete the message either. Iceland was magic. I hiked glaciers and soaked in hot springs, and watched the northern lights dance across the sky in ribbons of green and purple. I met other solo travelers, a woman from Australia, a man from Germany, 2 friends from Japan. We shared meals and stories, and I realized how small my world had been. For 5 years, I'd lived in a box. Work, home, family obligations. Repeat. But the world was so much bigger than that. On my last night in Reykjavik, I sat in a cafe writing postcards. One for Julia. Thank you for saving me. One for Derek. Figuring out my shit. It's harder than I expected, but worth it. One for Lauren. The world looks different from up here. And one for Mom. I wrote it, crossed it out, wrote it again, finally settled on. I'm not ready to forgive you yet, but I'm working on it. I didn't mail that one, but writing it felt important anyway. I came home to spring in full bloom and an apartment that felt more like home than Mama's house ever had. I'd hung pictures on the walls, bought plants that actually lived, created a space that was entirely mine. Derek texted, "Coffee this week, just, I said, yes. We met at a cafe near my apartment. He looked better than he had at Thanksgiving, less tired. More settled. I moved into my own place, he said. 1 bedroom downtown. It's small, but it's mine. How does it feel? Scary. Good. Like I'm actually an adult finally at 39. Better late than never. Lauren's in therapy now, talking about family dynamics, perfectionism, all that stuff. She says she's realizing a lot about how we were raised. Good for her. And Mom's doing okay in the condo. She joined a book club, started volunteering at the library. She seems lighter. Like selling the house lifted something. That's good. She asks about you. I'm sure she does. Not in a guilt-trippy way. She just wants to know you're okay. I'm okay. I can see that. You look really good. Healthy. Happy. I feel happy. We talked for 2 hours. About his divorce. About his job. About my trip to Iceland. About everything except the mortgage and Thanksgiving and the 5 years of exploitation. When we stood up to leave, Derek hugged me. I missed you. My actual sister. Not the ghost who sat at the end of the table. I missed me too. My birthday came on a Tuesday. I took the day off work. Slept late. Made myself a fancy breakfast Belgian waffles, with fresh berries and real maple syrup. Went for a long run along the river. Bought myself flowers at the market. In the evening, Lauren and Derek took me to dinner at a restaurant I'd been wanting to try. Expensive, sophisticated, the kind of place I'd never have afforded while paying Mom's mortgage. Happy birthday, Lauren said, handing me a card. Inside was a gift certificate to a spa. I thought you might like some pampering. I love it. Thank you. Derek gave me a book I'd mentioned wanting. I actually listened when you talked. Character growth. We laughed. The dinner was easy. Comfortable. We talked about work and travel and Lauren's kids and Derek's new apartment. Normal sibling stuff. The kind of relationship we should have had all along. As we were leaving, Lauren touched my arm. I know things are still complicated with Mom. But I want you to know we are here. Derek and E. Whatever you need, whether it's talking about her or not talking about her or anything else. We're here. Thank you. We were shitty siblings for a long time. We let you carry everything. But we're trying to be better. I know. And we love you. Even when we're terrible at showing it. I hugged her. I love you too. Summer arrived. I got another promotion at work, senior analyst to team lead. Another $15,000 raise. My manager pulled me aside after the announcement. Emma, you've been absolutely thriving this year. Whatever changes you made in your personal life, keep doing them. You're on fire. Thank you. I intend to. That weekend, I looked at my bank account. Between my salary, my savings, and my investments, I had $198,000 in total assets. A year ago, I'd had $1,200. The difference was staggering. I called my financial advisor. I want to buy a condo. You're ready for that. I'm ready. We spent 3 months looking. I saw dozens of places. Too small, too expensive, wrong neighborhood, weird layout, and then I found it. A 2-bedroom condo on the 4th floor of a converted warehouse. Exposed brick, huge windows, a kitchen big enough to actually cook in. Close to work, close to Julia. Close to everything I loved about the city. Price: $385,000. I put down $100,000, more than half of what Mom had repaid me. Mortgage: $1,550 per month, less than I'd been paying her. I closed on October 15th, almost a year after that Thanksgiving dinner. I moved into my condo in November. This time, I hired movers. Had furniture delivered, bought art for the walls, rugs for the floors, everything I needed to make it feel like home. Julia came over for the first night. We ordered Thai food and sat on my new couch drinking champagne. You did it, she said. You actually fucking did it. Did what? Built a life. Your own life. You broke free from your family's bullshit, and you built something real and yours and good. I had help. You let me stay with you when I needed space. That's what friends do. But you did the hard part. You set boundaries. You said no. You chose yourself. We clinked glasses. 2. Choosing yourself. Julia said. 2. Choosing myself. Thanksgiving came again, a year after everything fell apart. Lauren invited me to her house. Nothing big, just us, Brad, the kids, Derek, low-key. No, Mom, unless you want her there. I don't want her there. Okay. Then it's just us. I said yes. Dinner was different this year. I sat in the middle of the table, not at the end. Lauren asked about my condo, my job, my life. Derek brought wine and actually poured me a glass without me having to ask. The kids showed me their art projects from school. It felt like family. Real family. Not the performance we'd been putting on for years. After dinner, while the kids were watching a movie, Lauren pulled out an envelope. Mom wanted me to give this to you. I didn't take it. What is it? A letter. She's not trying to guilt you or manipulate you. She just, wanted you to know some things. You read it. She showed it to me first, asked if I thought she should send it. And, I think you should read it. But it's your choice. I took the envelope, didn't open it. Thank you. She's doing okay, by the way. Mom. In case you were wondering. She's selling real estate part-time now. Says it gives her something to do, and she's good at it. She's making friends, staying busy. She asks about you every time I talk to her. That's good. That she's okay. You don't have to forgive her. I know, but she really is trying. Not to get you back. Not to make herself feel better. Just, trying to be a better person. I'm glad I waited 3 days before opening Mom's letter. I sat on my couch in my condo that I owned, drinking coffee I'd bought without checking the price, and I read what she'd written. Dear Emma, I won't ask how you're doing because Lauren tells me anyway. You're thriving. You bought a condo. You got promoted. You're traveling and living and building a life that's entirely yours. I'm proud of you. I know I don't have the right to be proud anymore. But I am anyway. I'm writing because Thanksgiving is coming and I know you won't be at my table this year. That's okay. That's what I deserve. But I wanted you to know what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful you had the courage to say no, to stop sacrificing yourself for me, to choose your own happiness over my manipulation. I'm thankful you survived what I did to you. I'm thankful you're strong enough to build a life without me. And I'm thankful that someday, maybe years from now, you might let me be part of that life again. Not as the mother who hurt you, but as the mother who learned from her mistakes and spent the rest of her life trying to be worthy of your forgiveness. I don't expect that day to come soon. Maybe it never will, but I'll be here. Working on myself. Becoming someone you might want to know again. Happy Thanksgiving, sweetheart. Love, Mom. I cried reading it. Not the ugly, broken sobs from a year ago. Quieter tears. Sadness, mixed with relief, mixed with something that might eventually become forgiveness. But not yet. Christmas came. I spent it with Julia's family, loud, chaotic, warm. They welcomed me like I'd always been part of their celebrations. New Year's came. I stayed in. Just me and a bottle of good wine and a list of resolutions that all started with keep choosing myself. And then it was January. A new year. 13 months since that Thanksgiving dinner. I was sitting in my condo one evening when my phone rang. Mom. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello, Emma. Hi. I'm sorry to bother you. It's fine. What's up? I wanted to tell you something. I sold the Vermont property. Well, I sold it last year, but I got some additional money from it. A boundary dispute with the neighbor got resolved and they paid $50,000 for the property line adjustment. Okay. I want to give it to you. It's your money. From the original sale, I kept it separate, waiting to see if there would be any adjustments to the sale price. And now there has been. Mom, you don't have to. I want to. It's yours. It always was. You paid for that property twice, over with what you gave me. I'm just returning what's yours. Send me a check. Then. I will. Emma. Yeah. How are you? Really? I looked around my condo. The life I'd built. The space I owned. The future I was creating. I'm good, Mom. Really good. I'm glad. You deserve to be. We hung up shortly after. No dramatic reconciliation, no tearful forgiveness. Just a moment of honesty between a mother who hurt her daughter and a daughter who was healing. Maybe that was enough for now. 2 years after that Thanksgiving dinner, I stood in my condo hosting my own celebration. Julia was there, and Derek, and Lauren, with her family. We ate too much food and laughed too loud, and nobody sat at the end of the table because I had a round table now. Everyone was equal.